Good morning, good evening, whenever you are watching or listening. Welcome back to TatiiTalks podcast. I have, in every episode, I got a special guest, but this is a really special guest because, well, we're going to get to that later. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, tell the people what you do, who you are, and whatever fun fact you want to give them.
Okay. So my name is Jamesia. I'm originally from Memphis. I guess that's important. But I've been living in Atlanta since 2018. But I like to say like I'm a native because, I told you my grandparents, they are from here. Because everybody just like moved to Atlanta and people be like, oh, but no,
Yeah.
I was connected before. What else? What I do for a living? I help kids go to college and graduate. And then I'm a parent, a new mom, and hopefully a soon to be wife, fiance. Hopefully he hears this very, 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 very soon. I'm talking to Carlos and the Lord. So I think that's it. Oh, and then what's a fun fact? I'm not gonna say the one that I said at Galentine's because that's not a good look.
Was that the truth?
Yeah, when I was a kid, y'all weren't bad.
Well, I mean, I was, but you made it seem like it was a hobby.
It was a thing.
You gotta say
my mama never knew. I used to steal earrings from Target, off the little paper. I would take them off and I just put them in my pocket as a little kid. And I would only put them on at school. I wouldn't wear them.
Because she would know.
She would know, I didn't buy those
this?
for, yeah. And,
never got caught?
I really never got caught. The only time I got caught was when I would forget to, take off makeup that I would put on at school. Because my mom was, one of those, we have a lot in store for us with these girls.
Woo!
So, yeah, I mean, that's not fun. It's funny, but...
When did you realize, this is not what I should be doing?
When she started to buy me the stuff. Yeah. I guess I was just, one of those kids. I just never asked for anything. I should have. I don't know why.
Because you could just get it yourself. You could just
literally
5-finger discount. Oh, my God. Let's just hope your daughter doesn't.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't. I mean, if she does, we'll talk about it. But I was just I don't know. I wasn't bad, but I was just...
You just wasn't good. You was...
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
But we'll get into that later. All right, so we're going to do an icebreaker.
Cool.
I've been talking to you about these cards for a long time. And I don't know what they're called. The blank and, I don't know what they're called.
Oh.
The and, I don't know. So you pick a card.
Okay.
As soon as you pull the card, you read it. Do not
read it before. Okay. Yes. I see that you don't. I've seen that on other episodes.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so just a little disclaimer. We're newly friends. So if I don't know the answer, we're just going to figure it out.
Okay. I'm going to close my eyes so I don't read it before. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's upside down. 1, 2, 3. How am I helping you become the person you want to be?
Oh,
That's
wow.
So deep.
Well, okay, I have an answer for that. Yeah. Okay. I would say the motherhood piece for sure. You, even just a week ago, was it last week?
I don't know. We see each other a lot.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day. So she has really forced me out the house. I have been a hermit. Sanaya is now 9 months, going on 10, and I barely go anywhere. And she kind of just ripped the Band-Aid off and was like, "You're coming." So I appreciate you for that. Yeah. And then you helped me with my goals in terms of wanting to do this podcast, wanting to show up more on Instagram or on TikTok. So I appreciate that, man. The short time that we knew each other,
it's been impactful. It's been impactful.
Very much so.
I would say on all of those things, but in addition to, I told you this, I lost my best friend. She's not dead, but we haven't talked to each other in over a year, but I have been praying to God for a very long time. I want to be around couple friends, people that are married, people that are doing what I'm doing in life that I want. And then we started following each other on Instagram, and I was like, hey, let's go out. Let's go get some lunch because we always just talking on the internet. And you were like, okay. And then now just sharing with you, in full transparency about just like where I am in my life, and then you being able to like share when you were here, and then also like some of the things that you are still like working through, learning through, like that's helping me a lot because like you are an example of like what I'm striving to, like being stronger in my faith, being married, being not only like just like married, but being like a good partner and all those things. Like I'm ready for that next level in my life, in addition to the goals and the day to day, like getting through, and like you keep me level headed. In this short amount of time, I'll be like, I know if I come to Tati and I'm like, Carlos, and she's like, okay, wait.
Isn't that crazy though?
He's human. Show grace, show love, like dial it back. And I'm like, okay. And I think it helps though that our lives are very similar in a lot of different ways, but then we both have a lot of room where we're learning from each other.
Right. And I think there's just a healthy balance.
Right.
Which is why we connected so easily.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
When I looked, I was like, when did we start? We started following each other in August. And we didn't go out until December. And so, yeah, it was a very long time because I was like, dang, I felt like we should have did it sooner.
Well,
but
no,
it all happened.
but you know that like when you follow someone on Instagram and you kind of want to be their friend, you got to see how
stranger danger. Yeah, that is true.
You got to see
that
to be like,
true.
do I really want to get myself into this
in person? Yeah.
And you know, everything checked out, and I was like, oh, she cool.
It has been working. It has been. It's funny though. That was one of the first things we were like, just had to make sure you weren't weird.
Right.
I'm glad you're not weird.
Not a weirdo. So. Not a weirdo.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to highlight from her that she did not say is she is on the road to being TikTok famous. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
She is. Her videos be going viral, and
only 1.5.
Stop. There is a lot. There are point Ks in your views.
I'll accept
and I think that, you know, you just need to continue and push forth because that is, you got some good stuff.
You do too.
People love you.
I'm excited. I'm on the official couch.
She sat down and was like the infamous couch.
I'm on set. You do too.
Woo. All right. So I hope that, you know, gave you guys a little insight on the both of us. But moving right along, as she said that she is a first-time mom, and so am I, and that's basically how we first connected. So I got a couple questions for you. Since you're almost a year ahead of me, she turns 2 in August. Mm-hmm. April, May, June, July, August. Okay, so she's a year and 4 months older than Sanaya.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that's right.
Yeah.
Because when Sanaya turns 1... in 4 months, she'll be turning 2. That's a year and 4 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta check my math because I'm not. So how have you navigated like the infant stage of, you know, growing up, helping her grow up, and you know, you still got a life too. Like when did you finally start going out while like, you know, going through like the infant stage, newborn and infant stage?
Ooh, when was the first time? I think the first time of me getting out of the house was my birthday in October. And she was born in August.
8 months.
Yeah. And then my friends, they were like trying to get us out of the house. I feel like I remember my very first outing with her alone. One of my friends wanted us to go on a walk, like in the park. She was like, let's go to the park. Nice. It was the fall. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. But okay, I'm going to do it. Like, I intentionally told Carlos, I was like, no, I'm going to go. I got this. Because he was like, I can ride with you, you know, and then drop y'all off and then whatever. I was like, no, I got it. And I got her in the car. I remember this day. It's coming back to me. I feel like the most stressful part, though, I called her. I was like, I need you to come and help me because, like, I need to change her diaper. Like, you know, in the beginning, it was like poop all the time. Like, no matter how long the ride was. Like, there was always poop. And I was a new mom. Like, I was like, if the diaper's wet, I need to change it now.
She be going hours. Not days, hours.
Not days.
Okay,
no.
You just had to confirm because you didn't say nothing.
Nah, I want the blue line need to be blue.
And the diaper need to be.
Yeah, and so, because we were wasting so much money, but it's okay. But I was like, come, because I need to change her. And I was like trying. And good thing, I remember like locking my keys in the car, but they didn't really lock because my car is newer, so it won't do that. But I remember hearing, and I was just so stressed out, so frazzled. And she was like, girl, it's okay. Like, let's go. Like, I'll hold the baby. And I just remember watching her hold my baby, and I was like,
nervous.
Because she didn't look like she was holding her right. And it was a whole thing, but I'm glad we ended up going. Demi cried all the way there and on the way back. And I told you, like car cries, they get to me. They get to me more than any other like crying. But that was the first time. And then after that, I did go through a period of where I was just like going out with my friends like a lot without her. I was going out a lot. We weren't like going to the club. We were just like going to eat and stuff. But I was out of the house a lot. And I was like, dang. And I didn't realize it until Carlos, like, you know, one time we were talking and he was like, yeah, you were gone the whole first 6 months. And I was like, what? No, I wasn't. And then I like looked. He was like, let's go back and like actually look at. And I was like, yeah, it was the holidays, birthday season, all of that. So I was out of the house a lot. But I also felt like it was, I don't know, it was needed because I was on maternity leave for up until like February. I was on maternity leave. Wow. Yeah. My job was very generous. And so I just felt like I was at home, like nonstop with the baby and the dog. And so that was my first outing. And now I take her with me or.
You do. And I commend you because I'm even thinking about what I got to do later today. And I'm like, do I even want to go anymore? Because she's just.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
But no, that's really good. It's surprising to me that you were out so much without her for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
So going out, like, how did you feel? Were you like, she's taken care of, I need to do my thing?
I was like, I was just like, I need to get out of the house because I was experiencing like the postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. Like a backstory, I never set out to be like, oh my gosh, I want to be a mom. I've never said that before in my life. I was like, if it happens, it happens. And like, I was a city girl before I was a mom. I'm like, I was living my best life. I was having fun.
It sounds like you was having a hot girl summer.
Girl. A lot of stuff was hot, too much. But I was just really, that's never been like a goal that I've like written out and like specifically like a prayer or something that I've asked for. And so when it happened, I was like, oh my goodness. And so I was dealing with that. And then I was dealing with everybody's outside opinions and perspective, like, and that weighed on me a lot because like it's no secret, like I'm not married and I have a baby, and my mom had a similar situation. She was pregnant with me when she was 16, and my granddad, her dad, he's been a pastor like his whole life. And so the shame and guilt that she felt, she also like projected onto me. And like it just, that coupled with like I wasn't ready. This wasn't. And so poor Carlos, he was there for me through it all. But yeah, poor Carlos. It then weighed on him a lot too. But I just felt so like isolated. Like during my whole pregnancy, I didn't go anywhere. I can count how many times I went out while I was pregnant. Like I literally went nowhere. I was on the couch, just fat, eating, drinking water, bouncing on my ball. And I would go outside and walk the dog, but that was about it.
Yeah,
you wasn't. You didn't have an animal to walk. Don't get one.
No. I did have a husband that made me walk though.
That's
so
good.
I guess that's kind of equivalent.
You were being walked. He was walking you.
Yep, he was walking me like, come on, let's go. Come on. So yeah, wow. So so I see how that played a role in like, I feel suffocated. I need to leave.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, you guys are not married. However, as a partner, he showed grace when he probably didn't want to.
Girl.
And allowed you and was I feel like he was self-aware.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what? She is the mother of my child. I want my child to be okay. I want her to be okay. So let me just
that's literally what he said. He's just like, he suppressed a lot for like me to have my needs met, for me to make sure I was like incubating and like healthy, like while going through it all. He was great. But then all of that started to come out on she's here now. It's like, all right, mess. Yeah. Time to clean up and deal with all the mess. And
That's tough.
It was. It still is. It's
a
hard
work in
work.
progress.
It's
Yeah.
hard work.
I think it's interesting because when people think like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant, they don't think about the stuff
All the
you
stuff.
go through. And that's like pregnancy alone. But then when the baby's here, they're like, oh my God, the baby's so cute.
And they're still not thinking about the stuff.
No,
like
they're not only thinking about the stuff, but they're not thinking about the mother. Like a lot of people do this. Call you, where's the baby?
Yeah.
Can you check if I'm okay?
Yes.
Like people joke like, oh, I just want to see but like it's a real thing. Like check on me. Because while I might be going through something, I'm silent because I know that I got to do a job.
Right.
I have to show up for my daughter every single day.
Keep this human alive.
Whether I'm suffering with postpartum, baby blues, I'm crying, I don't want my daughter to see me. You know, it's just so many different things that people are just not aware.
Right.
And I'm just all about bringing awareness, showing the good things, but also showing the tough things because it's not all peach and cream.
No.
It's really not. Having a kid is a lot. It is a beautiful thing, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. So how do you feel after like looking back, pregnancy, everything that you dealt with?
I would say.
Everything that you dealt with, the shame, the guilt, everyone pointing fingers at you.
Yeah.
Now seeing Demi, everyone loving on her. Like how do you feel about that?
Okay, I feel two ways. I'm gonna start with the good way. I feel very blessed for Carlos. Like having just like a solid person like just behind me. I say like a lot. But just having a solid person there, like through it all, like I feel very blessed because it could have went 100,000,000 different ways. But like having somebody that's just like, nah, like I'm here. I'm here. We doing it together. Yeah. And so seeing, like knowing that and like looking at what we're building together, even in the midst with all the struggles and challenges that come up each day, I'm fortunate. I'm very blessed to have somebody because not a lot of people have somebody. And people have somebody in their house and they just not doing nothing. And
nothing.
Girl.
That's a real thing. Don't even get me started.
Yeah. Cause yeah, like you see two parents, but it's like,
but it's really a single
one person carrying the load, and that's not my reality. Like I can count like how many diapers I change each week, cause it's not a lot. Because
Same.
Girl, my excuse,
I don't do that.
It ain't my excuse no more. I'm like, I fed her, I feed her, so
I feel seen.
Come,
are you a fly on my wall?
Get this diaper. Thank you.
She pooped. Her diaper's blue.
Literally, I'd be like,
I ain't doing nothing.
I'll talk to them. I'd be like, do you need a diaper change? Do you need a diaper change?
I think she's full. No, I'm the same.
But no, for real, I'm very blessed. So I look at that, and then looking at everything and looking at everybody now, God's still working on me because, like, I've had conversations like with my mom, had conversations like with, other people that are close to me that, had a positive or a not so positive like impact on me like during that. And I'm really like baby steps like working towards just forgiving, understanding, like, girl, I had to go to therapy. Like,
no, yeah.
For real. Like, at first you'll go like one therapy here, one there. No, like I spent some money on therapy.
No, and I need to do that because I feel you on that.
Yeah. It was needed because it was like we were really like going all the way back to my childhood and figuring out like what's causing what's happening
was the root
now. Like what's the root of it, and why do certain things like still trigger you or impact you the way that you do, and blah 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 blah. So it's been like a lot of like deep seated like self work, and I haven't been able to like get to everybody yet. But just like one by one, like of people who I know that I want to keep like strong relationships with, it's like, okay, let me write a letter to this person that I may or may not deliver.
Right.
Or let me baby steps, like be like, bring up one feeling here, one feeling there, or, find a little TikToky and send it to them. And like, I can relate to this so much. Like, you want to talk about it? Things like that. And so a part of me is like doing some intentional work on it. But then a part of me too, just like be cutting people off and don't allow them into like certain parts, experience certain joys and things like that with me and my family. And I know that's not, the best thing, but
is it not?
it's for me. It is for me.
If they're detrimental to you.
Right.
It's all about.
I didn't mean for this to be so deep.
No, it's fine.
My phone, it's
fine.
just vibrating.
If it's detrimental to you, not serving a purpose, I don't feel like they should have access to you.
I agree.
You could forgive
and just let it fizzle.
That season is over.
Yeah, I agree. But what happens when they are like in your nucleus? In your family that you see every holiday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Distance.
Yeah. And that's what's been happening. I am so like, I don't know if grateful is necessarily the word, but having the physical distance between like me and a lot of my family members helps me out so much. Granted, sometimes it's like I really miss my family and I wish I could just like pull up to my mama's house and eat her food and like
cool, me too.
Take up her air and use her tissue and paper towels and whatever.
Take her groceries.
Right. But I can't but also having that distance like keeps you away from other people's like problems, and
you got to protect your peace.
Yeah, because girl, every day with these children.
No, yeah, and I don't even have a toddler yet. Like, she don't really be getting into stuff. She crawls and like takes plugs and touches the outlet and eats
and
paper.
And they'll look at you while they're doing
right.
it.
I'd be like, stop, and she smiles at me. That's not funny.
You're in the thick of it, though.
But she don't know no better. So I always need to remind myself, like, she does not know any better.
Yes, that's and us too. I forgot. Was I talking to you or was I talking to one of my friends? I don't know, but it's like kids, and I know you mentioned like gentle parenting as something, but kids, she's only been here for 10 months. Demi has only been here for 9. We've only been here for like almost 30 years. That's not a long time when you think about it. Like, that's not that long. And we all have these like grand expectations of ourselves,
that's the
of each
impatience.
other,
Kids.
That's
actually a really good perspective. We do have expectations.
And we have not been here that long. Like, I mean, even if you are walking this earth and you're 80 years old, like the earth has been around forever.
Centuries and centuries. Yeah.
And so
that's a really good point. Because I really be looking at her like, why are you?
You know better. No,
right.
I don't.
She really don't know
really
better.
Don't.
Thank you for that reminder. I need to do better. And that's why I have you, because you have been doing this a year and 4 months longer than I have.
Not that long.
Longer than I was still pregnant when you gave birth. Okay, so
I think it helps too. It's like because we're like right behind each other. Because if I was asking somebody that had a baby that was 5 years, it's different.
Yes, because there's so many steps that you're missing. They're like, oh, that's nothing. Yeah. Actually, no, it is something for me.
Like, I remember I was just there yesterday.
It is something for me. And that's why I think it was important for me to like find first-time mom friends. Because like while I have other like friends that are moms, they have 1, 2, 3 children, but their children are like in school. Like, so you don't have the same grace to listen to my problems
3 kids.
like you do. You know?
My gosh.
I mean, you might have.
No Jesus.
Well, you could say no, Jesus, but you go
3. But I get, it's not. It feels like much more like
because we don't have that much of a gap.
So because Lord, I be asking my mama stuff. I be like, what did you do when I did this? I don't know. I'm like,
thanks.
Were you not preparing for this moment when your child had
you didn't write down everything? How do you discipline? Oh, it is a challenge. It is a big challenge. Okay, so we just talked about a lot. So one thing I do want to say from what you spoke previously is to always remember that forgiveness is not about them.
Yeah.
It is about you.
Yeah.
And I read that yesterday. I did a devotion this morning, and it was about forgiveness. And last night I prayed about forgiveness because I need to forgive some people. And I just thought it was funny that you brought it up. But the devotional said, it's really not for you. No, for them. It's for you.
Yeah.
To break loose all of that energy that you're putting towards like, not harboring, but in a way harboring those feelings. Because I remember when I was pregnant, I had so much expectations of like people coming through for me or being there for me. Yeah. And then when I gave birth, I was like, yeah, they're going to see the baby. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, so cute, so cute. No, sis, I was here by myself.
Yes.
By myself. It'll literally I mean, some people don't have that story, which if you didn't have that story, then praise God. But I felt very alone.
Yeah.
Like, it is lonely.
Aww.
Yeah.
I wish I would have found you sooner. I'm like right down the street.
Well, I mean, now that we found each other, you're pushing me out to like find my own escape. Because I was just cooped up in the house. I didn't have to be. But because I'm a first-time mom, I don't want to expose her to the air outside. I don't want her to get sick. No, that's real.
Because COVID, too. Yeah. Like, we were dealing with a lot.
So I was like, you know what, let me just stay in this house. But then also expecting people to, like, come and visit, see the baby, text me.
It's so funny, though, because we just said, no, don't call me. Don't call to talk about the baby.
I know.
Call to come get me.
Expectations.
It's wild. It's a lot of feelings.
Now, do you think... We had expectations, and I can speak for myself after you answer, but we had expectations, but like with those expectations that you had, have you ever vocalized those expectations? Or was it just like a internal thing?
I think it was more internal. Like people would ask me like, what do you need, Jamesia? Or, you know, like, what can I do for you? And I would just be like nothing all the time until one of my friends, because like, what do I need? Pay this copay for this doctor visit because they adding up, and every time I go, I be crying.
No, yeah, that just took you back.
It did, but it wasn't until like one of my friends, Janae, she just stopped asking me and just like started showing up and just started doing like, hey, I'm gonna do this like for you, like whatever, like take it or leave it. And that was good, but I never just outright said. I feel like now I do, but I also like just how openly I share on social media. My family, they're watching it, and so they then come to me and be like, hey, like I saw you mention that you were overwhelmed with XYZ or you weren't prepared for XYZ, like here's this or here's that, and it's like, okay, like, thank you. So it's like kind of me vocalizing them, but not me vocalizing them. But indirectly. But it's something that I struggle with. And it's like, you think like, oh no, I'm not going to have trouble asking for help. But I can't even ask like Carlos, like her dad, my man, like, can you help me? Like, please, like, can you? And it's not even with like, oh, like washing the dishes or like washing clothes. Like, no, like, can you just like help me like in this moment, like take everything so that I can just like go to sleep,
relax,
right? So
have peace. Yeah. I had trouble asking for help too, but I do think for me it was a mental expectation that I never said. Never said to anyone. I think it's because of the way my family operates. Like they see people struggling, they're helping. They see that someone's dealing with something, they're going to offer a hand. So like when we had something at my house for Sanaya, she is screaming like crazy.
Is that like fun screaming?
Yeah. She's probably watching Gracie's Corner or something. I hope y'all don't hear her because she is loud. We had something for her at her christening. And literally like everyone came from the church and came here. Nothing was ready. Nothing. My mom was slaving in that kitchen. I had a couple of friends and family members that were just like, they didn't even ask a thing. What do you need?
Yeah.
What can I help with? Do you want to finish that and then go to the next thing? I think that's what, because I grew up like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why don't you know what I need? Like, why don't you just step up to the plate? Why do I got to like call you and be like, hey, I really need some sleep. Can you go? And I feel like that could be a problem. But I guess I have to be more vocal. And I am, with Isaiah, I am more vocal. And I'm like, listen, you're going to have to take the morning shift because she be wearing me out at night. Wearing me out.
Hey, how was that? Okay, we'll talk about it.
Last night was, We'll talk about it later. So yeah, that's about expectations. And I think we as new moms, second time mom, third time mom, because like it's always different. So like you can never expect the same situation. We just need to be more vocal and just educate people because people really don't know.
They really don't.
They don't know what it's like. They don't know what to expect. They don't know that you need support.
Right.
And that's what I'm really learning.
Ways and you know, like it's just different. Like with our generation, like we talk about mental health a lot more. We're more, I guess, vocal on social media,
right?
Like about the troubles and just things that we're experiencing when, you know, we might not be like that in our regular life, but
because I'm not.
It's more out there. So I'm quick to send or repost like an Instagram something, a podcast or something, and I'm like, listen to this, take a look at this,
right.
tell me what you think.
Yeah, tell me what you think about it. Just give me your thoughts. Because I may not be able to tell you right now, but this will tell you for sure.
Right.
For sure. So Demi will be turning 2 in August. Parenting, disciplining, giving her, activities to do. Girl. How do you feel about, in this new age, gentle parenting versus, I feel like it's not bad parenting, it's just regular parenting.
Right.
Like, how do you feel about the whole gentle parenting movement?
Girl, I'm in so many Facebook groups. I need to.
Those are detrimental too sometimes.
When I was pregnant, I was like, join, answering the little questions. Like, yep,
right,
I'm ready. Anywho, I feel like there are things that I agree with from a lot of different versions of parenting, from how I was parented, from just the go with the flow parenting that me and Carlos do every day, from gentle parenting ideologies, from conscious parenting. There are like a lot of things that I agree with from every, I guess, category.
Parenting, yes.
I don't think that one is necessarily better than the other, but I do think that there are some things that will just help make us better humans, like help raise like stronger humans, like all together, which is like communicating, like talking with your kids, like seeing a child not as like, because something I was always told as a child, which was detrimental to me, was like children are supposed to be seen and not heard. And I was like, and I talk a lot. I talk a whole lot. Like I would go to school just talking. I was talking at home, but like if I was out, like I don't know. It was very like sometimey. And I'm not like putting my parents like down because they only were able to share what they knew, like how to do.
Right. Yeah.
And that was one thing from my childhood that just like still whatever rings true. And then even now, like with how we parent Demi, it's just like little things. Like Demi would tell us no. She would tell us stop. And my mom would be like,
don't you dare. Yeah.
Girl, you just gonna let her. And I'm like, she's only, first of all, saying what she hears because I say no all day long to her. So of course she knows what no means. And then I'm like, also she's just communicating like with me. Like literally I use that same language and verbiage to her. I say no. I say stop. I say, do you want to eat? Did you make and she's literally just saying what I'm saying back. So I'm not going to be like, no, you're not supposed to tell your mama no because later on, if somebody's doing something to you, I would want you to tell them no.
Stand up and be like, no.
Yeah. And so from how I was raised, like a kid saying no, that's disrespectful. So whatever. But as far as like, I don't know, gentle parenting specific, I don't even know all the different
I just know gentle
structures
parenting.
And
so
frameworks.
What you said, all the stuff that you was, I was like,
I know a part of it is like the physical disciplining. Now that's something that Carlos and I have set out not to do. I think Carlos was whooped a little bit as a kid, but not as much as I was.
I was girl with a belt, with a hanger. Listen, with a cord.
I got an iron thrown at me once. I don't think my mama can go to jail now because I'm an adult, right?
No child was harmed.
It wasn't on.
Because now you gotta say that stuff. No child was harmed.
No, I'm still here. It wasn't on. But I had got caught talking on the phone to a boy.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, they was mad.
And so she didn't know how to respond to that. She didn't know how to react to that. And so I think that's the biggest part of gentle parenting that I'm probably going to go along with, just like the not abusing, because yes, whoopings are like, okay, like ha 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 ha, like I'm okay, like I turned out
Right,
great.
yeah.
But no, where do whoopings like really come from, and why do we do it?
I feel like slavery.
Yeah, everything comes
I'm
from
about to say.
slavery. Everything comes from slavery, and it's like it also is us like showing just our lack or our ability not to know how to communicate and seeing kids as less than.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And so instead of me like talking through now, why you was talking to that little boy on the phone, and I told you not to talk to him on the phone. Like I told you, and this is why I don't want you talking to little boys on the phone. Like instead
Having
of
that,
happening, I just got beat,
whooped.
popped in the mouth.
And then I'm gonna do it again.
Girl,
I'm just gonna get this little whooping. I don't care.
That's why I was like, Lord Jesus, I don't know what's coming in store for me and my baby boy.
For me, gentle parenting, I feel like I agree. I agree with certain aspects. I do think that gentle parenting won't work if you have multiple children because every kid is different.
Every kid is.
So like communication at first for one child is not gonna work. You've got to be a little stern. Not like people are like, oh, don't yell at your child.
That part, I be
I don't
yelling
know.
now.
And it might be unpopular opinion. And if it is, if you disagree, that's why you don't parent my child, okay? But
What you be yelling at Sanaya?
a little bit,
I be yelling at Demi.
you. So she's trying to like start getting into stuff, and I tell her no. She decided to. She decided to ignore my no, which she doesn't know better. I understand. I should have removed her from the position that she was at. But I kept telling her no. She looked at me. She smiled. And then the lamp fell on her.
Oh, no. No child was harmed.
No child was harmed to me. And then she decides to do it again the next day. And I'm like, okay, you really don't know better.
You don't remember?
Right. So let me just be a better parent and like remove you from the situation.
Yeah.
But like I yell at her sometimes and it's a little too early because she isn't barely talking. But you know, things
They
just
be
get
yelling at us.
Okay. She be crying for nothing. But things just get the best of me. But so the side of gentle parenting, I will say, is the communication piece. Like I want Sanaya to be able to communicate her feelings to me. Mommy, what you said to me hurt me. Please tell me. Mommy, I don't know.
You made me happy today.
Like mommy, I'm really hungry and I was wanting food and something like that. Like I will definitely take that and do my best.
Yeah.
Do my very best because
it's unknown territory. Like
for sure. There is no manual. And if people
isn't.
try to create a manual, I say this all the time.
You know, they got these books and stuff out here.
But
girl, I don't
how they know?
Exactly. Because it's mostly white people.
You know when you whisper, they can
still hear it. And I went down into it. That's okay, because we're building our Black baby and literature and stuff with this podcast.
Yes. And before we run out of time, because I know we did run out of time, one thing I do love that you do is you buy books with stories of people of color.
Oh, yeah.
And you introduce her to that stuff. And I think that is amazing. The books that I have for her is like colors and like...
No, the books I get from the library. I don't buy them.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to buy the favorites. But no, we're just, girl, library card. Swipe.
See, yeah.
Because all the books that we own are like mostly baby books.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I think that's important.
It is.
I think children need to see their skin color represented. Because we watch Miss Rachel. Love her. I mean, she got Keisha in there. She got that black lady that A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a new
the
one.
Hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Anyways, we digress.
I'm so happy. That's just...
Oh, yeah. She's in that too. But yeah, we're running out of time. And I think that we need to...
wrap it up.
Our producer said wrap it up. I think that we need to expand upon this because this is such a juicy topic and I feel like we just scratched the surface. So you guys are gonna see her again.
I get to come back.
Yes, you're gonna come back, girl. And hopefully we got a little different decor, but y'all gonna have this for a little bit, okay?
This is great.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Whether you are not a mom, whether you are an aspiring mom, or you just don't want kids, I hope you gained something because we talked about a whole bunch of things. Yeah, forgiveness, take that for you. Gentle parenting, take that for your nieces and your nephews, or to just educate people. Yeah. But yes, without further ado, because I will keep going on and on because I talk a lot. I hope you enjoyed. Please tune back for next week's episode. Next week, I'm not posting nothing next week. For the next,
that's a sign.
I know. For the next episode, be sure to share, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. But tune back next week. Love y'all. Peace.